describe who Deliciously Stella is or was, and how that Instagram character came about?
Yeah, so Deliciously Stella is essentially a satire of all the wellness bloggers who were really popular a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So sort of Deliciously Ella, the Helmsley sisters, and those sorts of women. The women who really thought that gluten was the enemy. Like, And I was working in food TV at the time, and we were researching these girls to get them to present TV shows, and my boss was like, "You're the most revolting person I've ever met." She was like, "Imagine if you did an Instagram like this, but just about your life." And I was like, okay. So I went away for the weekend, and I was like, I'm going to make her really laugh.
Yeah.
So I just took pictures of myself, like eating leftover pasta and really hungover on the sofa, just being vile.
Sounds pretty great, though, to be honest.
I was living my best life.
Yeah. And how did you feel like when it first went viral? Were you like just loving it and caught up in it, kind of like?
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And I think deep down I'd always hoped I would be famous in some way. And I was like, this is my ticket, because I just started doing stand-up comedy, and I was like, oh my god, suddenly people know who I am. This is brilliant. I've
got a following.
all my cards right.
Yeah.
This is great. But with a lot of followers comes so much pressure.
Yeah.
And even just having, 1,000 followers meant that there were 1,000 people expecting me to deliver content every day.
Was it every day you felt you had to post consistently?
Yeah, it grew so quickly.
Like within how much are we talking like?
So I think I went to Edinburgh, and then by the October, I started in the May. By the October, I had 20,000 followers.
That's crazy.
And I went on holiday with my friends in Spain.
Yeah.
And I was so stressed because I didn't know how I was going to get to a supermarket, and whether my friends were going to be okay taking pictures of me all the time. I didn't want to be that loser who's like, actually stop, can you take a photo?
So you felt like you couldn't relax where everyone was relaxing, and you felt like because your phone's always there, it's like you needed to keep
So it was like I was at work all of the time.
Yeah.
And eventually I just completely snapped, and I was like, I need to be at home, and I need to be near Asda, and I just need to be working all the time, and I need to be working this, and I just got my book deal at the same time, and so I was trying to write this recipe book.
Right, okay,
And it was just way too much.
Yeah. So did you go home early from holiday?
Yeah. So my parents were on their anniversary holiday in Prague. I was phoning them every hour on the hour, just being like, I don't know if I'm okay. Like, I think I need to leave. Like, I don't feel very well. And they were just like
feeling really stressed.
So stressed and so anxious.
Oh, bless you, yeah.
And all my friends are just like drinking, having a great time. And
in Spain, you probably should have been.
And I'm on a sun lounger, like, my god, the world's gonna win.
So there's such disparity between Deliciously Stella and I guess what was going on inside.
Yeah, exactly. So I got 70,000 followers overnight.
That's crazy.
Which is too many for any one person to have ever.
Yeah.
Let alone just completely overnight.
Yeah.
And I was at the same time absolutely mental. So I'd have sort of fits of, okay, you can go to the NHS hospital and they've got a bed ready, and Mum, please will you strap these crunchies to my stomach and take a picture of me?
So like even though you were going through this, like you couldn't drag yourself away from the phone and the likes and everything that was going on?
No, I was 100% addicted to social media.
So I guess in a way though, because like those likes obviously get quite addictive, don't they? Like, I don't know, do you think we get greedy for more and more in a way? More followers, more likes?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also comparing yourself to others is the worst thing you can do on social media, but you can't help but do it because you're just on it all the time.
Yeah.
And everyone wants their life to look more brilliant.
Yes.
And everyone seems to be getting more likes and more followers and be growing faster. And when you sort of plateau, which is inevitable, it's really hard to see those people sort of overtaking you.
Yeah, exactly, and hard not to feel jealous. What would your advice be then for like people who might be struggling sort of mentally because of social media, or they're on this endless pursuit of perfectionism? What would you say to people who are maybe finding it hard?
I would just be like, whatever you see on social media, whatever anyone's doing, it's all performative.
Yes.
So even if they're saying, oh, I've had a bad day, everything is still a performance. Like if your bad days don't look as nice as that, don't worry. Like if on your bad days you can't go on your phone, that's very normal as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when people are like, I was having a bad day, but I managed to get myself out on a run and now I feel loads better. If you can't leave the house, don't feel bad.
Yeah, if you can't go on a run for a week, don't feel bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so often people will be like, you know, just have a bath, read a book. And I'm like, unless that bath bomb is full of Valium, Karen, I am not going to feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the shaming, it comes in on so many different levels.
Yeah.
And ultimately, whatever anyone's doing on social media, they're doing it for the validation.
Sure.
So even though what I really wanted to do was to sort of, you know, raise issue with how competitive it was and people expected to be perfect and all of that sort of stuff, I also really wanted people to think I was funny.
Yes, of course.
And that was great and made me feel so much better.
Yeah. But like, what do you think needs to change for us to develop a more balanced like relationship with it? Because
I think it's really hard. I think that there needs to be lessons as early on as possible in school about social media and about what's real and what's not, and like who to go and talk to if you feel uncomfortable about anything that you've seen on there.
Yeah.
And I think we need to limit access to it a bit. I think it's going to be a really big thing. I think that social media addiction is going to be
massive. It's massive.
It's going to be a massive problem.
Yeah.
And you know, I felt so weird when I was in hospital. And they were like, why are you here? I was like, I've got so many followers on Instagram. And they were like,
this is such a new problem.
I know.
But it's a new problem that, you know, psychologists, researchers need to kind of like get on board with and are researching now because it's so new that it's like, well, how do we deal with this? Because it's separation anxiety from your phone, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just, and, you know, you're there with people going, I've had a terrible divorce, and you know, I've lost my children, and someone's like, I'm addicted to crack, and I'm like, I really don't want to do my Edinburgh show. I just don't. And they're like, cool, Bella, you should not speak. You talk about this in your one-on-one.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Oh my God, anytime.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, really fun.
Thank you.